You're watching Spirit Spotlight.
Hey everybody, this is Austin Szumowicz with WNEM TV5 Sports, and welcome to the Spirit Spotlight, where we zone in on everything Saginaw Spirit hockey. I am joined once again by play-by-play commentator for the Spirit, Dylan Clark. We are here at the Saginaw Bay Ice Arena. The guys are actually behind us right now, getting in a practice, getting in some work before they hit the road once again for a 3-game week. This is going to be the longest road trip they've had in a minute. So, like, coming off of a week where they got 2 points with a win over Erie on Sunday. I mean, talk to me right now, like, going into this long road trip, how the team's looking right now.
Yeah, good. It was a good road trip through Kitchener and through Erie. Obviously, the 6-1 win over the Otters is going to jump off the page the most at you. 4 points for Nikita Klepov, but you know that game the night before against the Kitchener Rangers. You know that's a team that's got 12 NHL drafted players on it. So to hang around and keep that as a 2-goal game for as long as they did, you know, I think it speaks a lot to kind of the caliber of young players that we've got here. You know, a lot of our guys are either 2008 or 2009 born, so a little bit on the younger side, but they were able to hang around for a long time with that Kitchener group. So a lot of good things to pull from that game. And you know, 6-1 over the Erie Otters. Fantastic performance from Stepan Shurigan, 41 saves in that game. His best single game save total of the season so far. So he had his hands full. Guys look good again against an Erie team that, you know, they've had their fair share of battles against in the last couple of years.
No doubt about it. And that 2 points is so crucial for this Spirit team now. Only 1 point behind Guelph and Owen Sound in the 6th and the 7th spot in the standings right now. So these next 3 games are so crucial to be able to move up the standings and be able to try to secure playoff seeding as we get longer into the season. Like, is that just continue to fuel these guys just coming off of a win like that where you're so close in the standings to move up?
Yeah, 25 games left in the regular season. It's coming up quick. We're past the trade deadline. Everything gets a lot faster, a lot tighter this time of year. The game changes a little bit. But, you know, Chris Lazary said the goal for this hockey team right now is to try and grab that number 6 seed. Like, it's a team that's going to be incredibly inexperienced when the playoffs come around. But even though they've traded away some of the older players and made the moves to reposition for the next couple of years, this is still a team that's going to hang around and make some noise when the playoffs come around. So I think that goal of hitting 6, it's a manageable one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's within striking distance now. Again, it's a lot of hockey left to be played, but you know, if they can cover up some ground here over this road trip, it's a step in the right direction.
You mentioned Nikita Klepov. What a week he's had. I mean, with the OHL Prospects game and those 2 games he put together. I mean, just talk to me about the week he's kind of had coming out of last week.
Yeah, a unique player of the week and rookie of the week in the OHL. They took a look at his performance and said, yeah, we got to hand both to him. So, I mean, he's been one of the outstanding players in the OHL all season long, up towards the top of the OHL scoring race. Again, 4 points against Erie, 2 points the night before against Kitchener. That's a lot of damage done in just 2 games, as we've seen him do time and time again. And then at the OHL Top Prospects game last Wednesday up in Peterborough, player of the game there. And you know, that's the collection of the top talent in the Ontario Hockey League ready for the NHL draft this year. So for him to have that kind of success on that stage, you know, with the building full of NHL scouts, it's not a surprise to anybody, but it's a well-timed performance for sure, and you know, prime example of just what he can do as an offensive threat.
So the road trip starts up for these guys against Peterborough on Thursday. Talk to me about that matchup and just kind of how that will kind of kickstart this week for these guys, trying to be able to get another 2 points going and to open up the week.
Yeah, they haven't seen Peterborough yet this year. They're in 4th right now in the Eastern Conference, and I think surprised a lot of people with some of the success that they've had, just judging on, you know, where their rosters moved around in the last year or so. So for them to have kind of that prowess on home ice, I think they've won 6 straight hockey games on home ice. So that'll be a good challenge to get things started. And again, if you can pick up that win on the first game of the road trip, it kind of sets the tone, takes the pressure off for the next 2 games. So I think, again, with the way that this team's played the last handful of contests, confidence is increasing right now.
And then they'll move on to Kingston on Friday. I mean, they have faced that team this year, correct?
Yeah.
And then just coming out of that game and just trying to going into Kingston, kind of like what kind of matchup does that provide for them? Because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Kingston got the win the first time they faced off this year?
Yeah, so opportunity for maybe a little bit of revenge on Friday night in Kingston. 6-1, Frontenacs beat the Spirit a couple of weekends ago, and you know, it was kind of a reset point. It was the first game after the trade deadline. Guys are kind of screwing their heads back on after some big shakeups. So this team's into the groove of it now. That's a winnable hockey game for sure.
And finally, closing out the weekend on Sunday, they'll have the Ottawa 67s. That's also the first time they'll be playing them this season. Talk to me about that matchup just to close out the weekend.
Well, Ottawa's the #1 team in the OHL right now. They got 67 points. They lead the league that way. They'll have probably some more points by the time the Spirit roll into TD Place on Sunday afternoon, and it'll be the first time that they get to see Nick Szumowicz in an Ottawa 67s jersey. So I know that's going to be a unique experience. It'll be a good plot line going on in the background of everything. And again, another measuring stick to see how they stack up against the best in the league. What's
kind of the emotions going into a game where you see your former teammate that was dealt at the deadline? Like, is there kind of like a hey, good to see you kind of moment for them? Like, what would you describe as like kind of the experience playing against them on the other side of the ice?
Well, it's hard to say. For some of the guys that were that have been around for a longer time, like Josh Glavin and James Go, that's a guy you went into battle with in the playoffs and in the Memorial Cup. So it might be a little bit more impactful for them. And not to say that Nick was a massive leader for all the young guys on this roster, but there's something to be said for having all that time together. So I think they'll be able to set it aside. I know they'll be able to set it aside once the game starts, but I think after the game there'll be that hug, that handshake, but after for sure.
Afterwards for sure. So again, some really big matchups for the Spirit as they continue to get closer and closer to that 6th seed. So they'll have a busy week, that's for sure, on the road. So for fans that are wanting to keep track with the Spirit this week, be sure to go to SaginawSpirit.com to keep track with everything Saginaw Spirit, to see all the stat lines and everything like that. And of course, next week, they'll be back home at the Dow Event Center as well. So Dylan, thanks so much. Appreciate you always for your time. I'm Austin Szumowicz with TV5 Sports. This has been the Spirit Spotlight. Go Spirit.